can you be in deliberate creative control of your own experience. You are in control of your own experience, but it's not really appropriate to use the word control when you have no idea what you're doing. In other words, you are the creator of your own experience, but unless you are aware of your vibrational nature, and unless you are aware of what your emotions are telling you about your vibrational state of being, then you are creating by default. Whatever you give your attention to activates a vibration within you. Whether you're thinking about past, present, future, doesn't matter. Whatever you're focused upon activates a vibration within you. So if you think about what you want, that activates a vibration within you. And if you could maintain that vibration, law of attraction would deliver it to you very quickly. But as you focus upon what you want, but then you notice that it isn't happening, and you focus upon what you want, but then you wonder what's taking so long, now you are offering all kinds of contradictory vibrations, and what you want cannot easily come to you. Not because you're bad, and not because you're inappropriate, and not because you're unworthy, but in the same way that you do not call your radio inappropriate or unworthy when you set your dial or your tuner on a station that is different than the one you really want to hear. And the same thing is true with you. You got to line your frequency up with the frequency of your desire, or you are preventing your own desire from being realized. It's as simple as that. Everything is about vibration, and every vibration is managed by law of attraction. So when you give your attention to something, it activates a vibration within you. Focus is your creative edge. What genius is on any subject is just attention to the subject, because law of attraction takes care of the rest. Think about your own experience, or play with it today and tomorrow. Give your attention to something. Choose something where you don't have all kinds of contradictory feelings about it. Choose something that's sort of neutral as far as you are concerned. And write it on a notebook and focus on it for a minute or two. And write words such as, I am interested in this subject, and I have been wondering about this subject, and I wonder if there's any information out there for me about this subject. And you will be bowled over by how many things turn up on that subject simply because you have activated it. You see, all you have to do is ask, and it is given. But so many of you stand in your now missing something that you want, and you would argue with that. You would say, surely it is not that way, because I know there are many, many, many things I've been asking for that are not coming to me, or have not yet come to me. I see no evidence of them inside. And we say, that's because you are not, in those cases, a vibrational match to your own asking. You're asking for something you don't believe, but you're not believing it is the dominant vibration within you. So, you are magnificent genius creators who have at your basis freedom. You are so free you can choose bondage. And at this free basis, you have greater worthiness and legacy for well-being that we could find words or time to convey if we spent all day, every day, the rest of all of your physical life experiences. Your worthiness is not an issue to anyone but to you. And the reason that so many of you do not feel worthy of well-being is because you've been offering vibrations not knowing how you're offering, and then taking score of what's coming back in response to your vibration, and then concluding that somebody outside of you must be concluding that you are unworthy, and therefore that is why you're holding yourself apart. The only reason that anyone would stay someplace that they don't want to be is because where they are has more of their attention than where they want to be. You cannot put your attention upon what you are desiring and predominantly offer a vibration about what you are desiring without moving there. The entire universe is orchestrated in that way. And we have to say to you, it would not be possible for you to have conjured a desire that is inaccessible to you. That can't happen. If you have the ability to conceive it, this time-space reality has the ability to deliver it, but you've got to match your own desire. You got to feel good about your desires, and if you don't feel good about your desires, then we would not think about them. Do not torture yourself, and that leads us to the most significant thing that we're wanting to give to you. You ask and it is always given. That's step 1 and 2. I'll just tell you that right off. But step 3 is you've got to be a vibrational match to what you're asking for. When you are in alignment with your desire, it feels like elation. It feels like clarity. It feels like love. It feels like joy. It feels like freedom. It feels like fun. When you are in the state of allowing, it always feels fresh and good. So, without exception, as you pay even the slightest bit of attention here, you're going to release resistance, which means your physical conditions are going to improve, your relationships are going to improve, your financial conditions are going to improve. In other words, all of these things that you've been wanting, whether you've been openly speaking them or not, Source has been hearing. You have been amending your preferences steadily for years. And Source knows exactly who you are and what you want and understands your worthiness of it. So as you relax and start achieving a greater sense of your own value, avalanches of things you've been wanting are going to flow into your experience. It's like they're all lined up outside your door. And today we're going to open the door as widely as you are able to. We don't really encourage quantum leaps. We think it is wonderful that you live in an environment where there's a buffer of time, where things evolve slowly, because it gives you an opportunity to continue to amend your desire. We're eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. There is nothing that is off limits.
Hi, Abraham. I don't think this will take very long. I just need a little broader perspective, fine-tuning.
All is well.
Yeah.
Oh, not that broad?
Well, yeah. Little fine-tuning. I mean, thanks to you, my life is completely transformed. I just moved to San Diego, my favorite city on the planet. We live in Encinitas. 2 weeks ago, we moved here. So I have this fabulous life. I mean, unbelievable. And I keep saying the word unbelievable, which can't be unbelievable or I couldn't be living it, but I keep saying unbelievable. We have this fabulous house overlooking this extraordinary, beautiful place. I mean, my husband has this fabulous job, my kids, and I've got 2 areas I want refining on, and the second part is the kids, but the kids are in this great place, everything's so great. And then I have this little bit of static that comes up, like that other shoe dropping crap that, where it's like, oh, is this too good to be true? Is something going to happen? I mean, can I really have this magnificent of a life? Am I that good?
Yes. What do you think is the source of comparison that is making you...
Other people's experience. Because, I mean, I don't know anybody else that has a fabulous life like I have. And so I think, how'd I get all this? You know, am I...
You tell us. How did it happen?
From you. From what you've taught me.
So, are you saying that your life has improved?
Yeah.
So if your life has improved, does that mean that anyone else's could too?
Yeah.
So does that mean you have done something inappropriate by living well?
No.
And does that mean that they are doing something inappropriate by not living well?
No.
And is it possible that, like you before, that some of what they're living, which isn't nearly as good as what you are living, is helping them to hone their own preferences? So there are rockets of desires emanating from them which will benefit them in their future experience, just like your previous rockets are now benefiting you.
Yeah.
And there is one more thing that we want to give you.
Okay.
There are those who live better than you.
Oh, really? Oh. I can't imagine.
We weren't kidding earlier when we said you can find relief from everything. In other words, right now you're in this place where you're stabilizing, in this place where you are just recently manifesting a long time desire, and you're just plucking all of the fruit from these newly ripened vines. But as all of that happens, this platform that you are now standing on will begin to produce for you yet some greater clarification of what you are wanting. In other words, as good as this is and as far as you have come, you are going to continue to have other things that you are desiring. And so this is the thing that we most want you to hear. As you see others not living as well, and you want them to live better, and you understand that as good as you are living, you still will live better. Rather than comparing the details of your life experience, if you will instead compare your potential for joy for right where you are, you will stop worrying. In other words, there are people who live much simpler lives than Jerry and Esther, for example, that have every bit as much joy as they have, even though their lives are much different in terms of manifestation or in terms of activity. In other words, you can't measure your success by the stuff you've accumulated or by where you're living. It's by the balance of emotions that you feel, you see. And so everyone has the same potential for joy. You've heard us offer this, but you will hear it even more clearly here. One time Esther saw something on television about something that happened to someone, and it was a terrible thing that had happened to them, and it brought Esther to her knees as she heard it. It was such a devastating story. And then later, as she recovered from it, she said to us, Abraham, if I feel this bad just hearing about what happened to somebody else, what must it have been like for them in the middle of it? And we said, it didn't hurt them quite as much as it hurt you. Because the way you feel is about the distance between who you really are and what you've activated in terms of desire and where you are vibrating right now. And so you don't know what anybody else is living or how they're feeling. And to superimpose your desires over their situations is always going to make you feel bad. And think about how that plays out as you say, I'm living such magnificent abundance and such joy. And this person over here doesn't have all that I have and therefore is not living that. Feel what happens to your own vibration as you focus in that way and take on that vibration for yourself, you see. Yeah. That's why people have a hard time when we say you've got to be selfish enough to want to feel good no matter what. And empathy for others' struggles doesn't help them and it doesn't help you. Mm-hmm. And you can tell by the way you feel. You could be living a wonderful life, focus on somebody and get caught up in their trauma and their trouble so that you are offering a pretty steady vibration about that, and you make a U-turn and head right back to some place that you don't want to go.
Yeah, I've had that before.
And so as you say, we see that what's unfolding for you is about your determination to feel good. We remember you had some pretty severe depression going on there for a while, and it didn't feel good to you. You didn't know what to do about it, and now that's never part of your experience. And do you know the joy that you taste now is so much more enhanced by your distant memory of where you have been. In other words, your joy is sweeter to you having lived some of that depression than if you had not been there. And your determination to stay in that better feeling place is much stronger also, you see.
Yeah.
So, it's just going to get better and better and better for you. The other shoe will never drop. That other shoe only ever drops in the lives of people that don't know about vibration, don't know about law of attraction, and don't know the power and value of feeling good. It cannot happen for you. You know what happens? You watch those movies. The movies are so distorted. They show some bright-eyed, shiny being living at the peak of life, and they make you love them. You like their personality. You like the way they treat others. You like the way their life is. They make you fall in love with the well-being, and then they drop a truck on them.
Yeah, I know.
And then you say, I'm waiting for that to happen to me because just like that person. Jerry has noticed that if there is anything sensual happening in any movie, that right away the music will change and someone will stab them or chop them up with an axe.
Yeah,
in other words, they want you to believe that if it is sensual or sexual, that you're going to die over it, you see.
Yeah.
And what we're wanting you to understand is that those things that happen to others don't have anything to do with you. And as you stop and say, but this is where that worthiness issue comes in. You're saying, but I know that they are good people. Why do bad things happen to good people? And we say, because no matter how good you are, you can develop patterns that hold your well-being away from you. You see, you're over that. You don't have those patterns going on anymore. You are allowing the well-being to flow. And like anyone who has success with anything, the more success you have, the more you observe the success. The more you observe the success, the more you radiate the vibration. The more you radiate the vibration, the more you get. In other words, it is logical that your life will get better and better and better. And we look at you knowing how much potential is out there, and we don't feel the slightest bit sorry for you that you haven't realized it all yet. Good.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.